So if you're looking to dry mount your print, so you've already submitted your 2 photos, I've printed them for you. The purpose of having this nice mat around it is to kind of frame your image so that, you know, it seems a little bit more formal, and people can, you know, look at it on a wall. It's 11 by 14, so it's a standard size, which means that you can find frames for this at almost any store that sells frames. So if you want to give them as a gift or hang it on your wall, whatever you want to do, it just gives you a little bit more emphasis on your photograph. Okay, so the materials that you're going to need is a mat board. It's 11 by 14. You're going to need a pencil, a ruler, dry mount tissue, which I will pass around so you can kind of see what that feels like. That's basically glue at solid form, and then when you heat it up, it will become liquid glue. So that's what we use to adhere the picture to the mat board. And then you're also going to need a tacking iron. This is very, very hot, so don't touch it to your skin. The dry mount press is also very hot, so the tacking iron and the dry mount press kind of work together in order to adhere your picture to the mat board. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So here's your picture. You can make this really any size, so we're going to need to do some measuring and a little bit of math in order to get it centered on our mat board, unless you're really good at eyeballing it. I like to eyeball it, but I wouldn't suggest everybody does that because sometimes it gets crooked. Okay, so I'm going to first of all take my mat board and I'm going to set it down, because something about this surface, sometimes it'll like take off the emulsion on your paper. So we're just going to put this down to protect it. And then you take your print, I'll face this way, you take your print and then you place it face down so that you can attach the tissue to the back of it. So you line it up, take the tacking iron, press down right in the middle for about, I'd say 3 to 5 seconds. And again, you're just pressing in one place. You don't want to glue this down everywhere with the tacking iron, because what you're going to get are air bubbles. So just one spot with the tacking iron. And then you can see what this does. It has attached it to the print. So now those two are together. So now you would cut off the borders. So like on this one, there's a border around it. I would want to cut that down. So here's a cutting board. There's also, or paper cutter, there's also a paper cutter over here if you want to use that, if there's like a line. So you line it up with the edge, and I'm going to cut off a little less than the last time. And I'm trying to get it to be straight, that's the hardest part. So you want to tap it, so get closer to this. You want to tap it up against this top edge and keep it flush, so that when you cut it, it's going to be perpendicular. Alright, so I cut off all 4 sides because I want my borders to be even. Something like that. There we go. Okay, so here is my print, and this is a horizontal print, so I'm going to hold it like this. And see, it's a little bit smaller now, so I'm going to take it, and you could eyeball it like I said, put it right in the middle, and you tend to want to always have a little extra on the bottom. Whoops, this is why we measure so it doesn't get crooked, because it just visually has this sinking property where it looks like it's sinking. Just it's an optical illusion, so you want to compensate for that by putting a little extra at the bottom than you did at the top. And then you want the 2 sides to be even, of course. So you kind of get it centered. You can eyeball it if you're really good at that. Some people are not, so I would suggest measuring. So here's how the measuring works. This is 11 by 14, so I'm going to measure. This side is, oh good, it's a nice even number. It's 6. So 11 minus 6 is 5. 5 divided by 2 is 2.5. So I'm going to make a mark at 2.5 on both the top and the bottom, and that will show me where center is for that side. Okay, so then 14 subtract, the length of it is about 8, so you divide, so 14 minus 8 is 6, divided by 2 is 3, so we're going to put 3 on either side, 3 and 3. And then that kind of shows us how to balance it, and then we're just going to put a little extra at the bottom, like I said. Okay, something like that. So now the tacking iron, I'm just going to attach the tissue. The tissue is already attached to the picture, so now I have to attach the tissue to the mat board. So I'm just going to lift up a corner, and then with the tissue still down, do you guys see that? The tissue is down. I'm going to press with the tacking iron for 3 to 5 seconds. And again, we don't want to press on all 4 corners, we just want one, because what's going to happen if we do more than one with the tacking iron is you're going to get air bubbles, and it's not going to look good. So there's the purpose of the tacking iron. It's attached so that it doesn't shift on us when we put it in the dry mount. Okay. So now we're going to take out our last print that I did. And here it is. Ta-da! Final product. Nice and hot. Hot off the press. And then
almost eat it.
Yeah, we're gonna put the new one in, and it's pretty straight. So you're gonna put it underneath this paper. If you put it on top of the paper, some of the print, the ink from your print can get on the press and then like affect the next print. You can see it happening right here. So you always want to put it under this piece of paper to protect it. You can't do 2 at a time. You can only do 1 at a time because it's hottest right in the middle. And then this is the hard part because it's kind of heavy. So very carefully, you're going to lift up, so focus on the back here so they can see where the handle is. This is the handle, so you're just going to lift up and then press down. And then it's going to be in there for 4 minutes. Don't mess with any of these settings up here and put the timer on, because what happens is when the timer goes off, it turns off the press, and then the next person's going to wonder why their picture is not getting stuck to the mat board. So just look at the clock, and then after 4 minutes you can come and take it out. It's not really a fire hazard because it's only 200 degrees, so I've like accidentally left a print in like all day and nothing happened, so it didn't even hurt the print. But 4 minutes is all you need. Okay, are there any questions? So that's optional if you guys want a nice mounted print. Okay, thank you.